Amanda and Ozzo's love grew stronger, like a mighty oak standing tall against the winds of doubt and uncertainty. Their love was a beacon of hope, lighting up the darkest corners of their souls. But lurking in the shadows, Cynthia's envy burned like a wildfire, consuming everything in its path. She watched as Amanda and Ozzo danced through life hand in hand, their laughter echoing like music in her ears. Once upon a time, in a cozy neighborhood filled with laughter and sunshine, lived two best friends named Amanda and Cynthia. They had been inseparable since their school days, where they shared secrets, giggles, and dreams under the shade of the old oak tree. Years passed and they grew up, but their bonds remained as strong as ever. Even though they now lived in different parts of the city, they made sure to visit each other regularly. Amanda lived in a quaint little house with a garden filled with colorful flowers, while Cynthia resided in a modern apartment downtown. Their friendship was a treasure, a rare gem that sparkled with laughter and joy. Little did Amanda know, however, that beneath Cynthia's smiling facade lurked jealousy and envy. Cynthia had always harbored bitter feelings towards Amanda's seemingly perfect life. She envied her kindness, her beauty, and the love she received from everyone around her. But most of all, she envied the attention Amanda received from others, especially from a wealthy businessman named Ozzo. Amanda met Ozzo one sunny afternoon at a local restaurant in town. Their eyes met, and sparks flew as they talked for hours. Lost in each other's company, soon they fell deeply in love, their hearts entwined like vines in a garden of romance. Ozzo showered Amanda with gifts, tokens of his affections that glittered like stars in the night sky. Each time Amanda received a gift, she couldn't wait to share her joy with Cynthia, her dearest friend. And each time, Cynthia's smile masked the darkness within her heart. Unknown to Amanda, Cynthia's jealousy grew with each passing day. She couldn't bear to see her friend basking in the glow of love and happiness, while she remained in the shadows, consumed by envy. Sometimes, Cynthia would plant seeds of doubt in Amanda's mind, whispering tales of infidelity and deceit. She would spin tales of others' alleged flirtations with other women, hoping to sow discord in their blossoming relationship. But Amanda, with her trusting nature and pure heart, brushed aside Cynthia's words like leaves in the wind. She believed in others' love, unwavering and true, and nothing could shake her faith in their bond. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Amanda and others' love grew stronger, like a mighty oak standing tall against the winds of doubt and uncertainty. Their love was a beacon of hope, lighting up the darkest corners of their souls. But lurking in the shadows, Cynthia's envy burned like a wildfire, consuming everything in its path. She watched as Amanda and Ozzo danced through life hand in hand, their laughter echoing like music in her ears. As the sun rose over the village, Amanda's mother Obidia woke up with a sense of unease lingering from the troubling dream she had the night before. In her dream, she saw Amanda locked in a fierce battle with a lady she didn't recognize, and it left her heart heavy with worry. Obidia prayed earnestly for her daughter's safety, hoping that the bad dream wouldn't come true in Amanda's life. With a heavy heart, she made plans to travel to the city in 2 days' time for her daughter's wedding preparations. In the bustling city where Amanda lived, excitement filled the air as Ozzo proposed marriage to her, and she joyfully accepted. Amanda couldn't contain her happiness, especially knowing that Ozo's family cherished and accepted her as their own. Eager to share her joy, Amanda confided in her best friend Cynthia. Cynthia, though envious deep down, put on a facade of happiness, congratulating Amanda with warm hugs and smiles. But inside, Cynthia's heart burned with jealousy, especially when Amanda announced that she would be her chief bridesmaid. Despite the brewing storm, Cynthia stayed over at Amanda's place, pretending to be the supportive friend while masking her true feelings. Little did Amanda know her mother's intuition was stirring, sensing danger in the presence of Cynthia. When Amanda's mother Obidia arrived at their city home, she was shocked to see Cynthia, the same lady from her troubling dream, standing in the living room. Her heart skipped a beat as she asked Cynthia about her relationship with Amanda. Cynthia, ever the skilled pretender, claimed to be Amanda's best friend, but Obidia's instincts told her otherwise. She confronted Amanda, expressing her concerns about Cynthia's presence and the ominous connection to her dream. Amanda, blinded by trust and friendship, dismissed her mother's warnings, believing in Cynthia's loyalty. Despite Obidia's protests, Amanda insisted on Cynthia's involvement in the wedding, convinced of her friend's innocence. Reluctantly, Obidia relented, but not without a heavy heart and a final warning to Amanda about the dangers of misplaced trust. She prayed silently for her daughter's safety, hoping that her instincts were wrong and that Cynthia was indeed the friend Amanda believed her to be. On the day of Amanda's wedding, the air was filled with love and excitement. Friends and family gathered to celebrate the union of Amanda and Ozo, showering them with well wishes and blessings. Amanda, radiant in her wedding gown, beamed with happiness as she exchanged vows with Ozo, the man she loved with all her heart. The ceremony was beautiful, filled with laughter and tears of joy as they pledged to spending their lives together. After the festivities, as the guests bid farewell and went their separate ways, Amanda, Ozo and Cynthia retreated to Ozo's house to begin their new life together as husband and wife. As night fell and the world outside grew quiet, Amanda approached Ozo with a request. She pleaded with him to allow Cynthia to spend the night at their home, assuring him that it would be only for one night. Ozo, wanting to please his new wife, agreed without hesitation. Cynthia, hidden behind a mask of false smiles, agreed to stay in the visitor's room. But as she lay in bed, her mind churned with envy and resentment. She couldn't stand the thought of Amanda always having the best things in life while she remained in the shadows. In the darkness of the night, as the world slept, Cynthia's thoughts turned dark. She vowed to seize happiness for herself, even if it meant destroying Amanda's. With twisted intentions, she plotted to make Ozo hers, to claim him as her own and cast Amanda aside. At midnight, hunger gnawed at Ozo's stomach, prompting him to venture into the kitchen for a large night snack. To his surprise, Cynthia was there sipping water in the dim light. She offered to help him prepare a meal, and Ozo, unsuspecting of any ill intent, accepted her offer with gratitude. Unknown to Ozo, Cynthia added a substance to his food, a concoction designed to cloud his judgment and sway his affections. Ozo, unaware of the danger lurking in his meal, thanked Cynthia for her kindness before retiring to the sitting room. In the middle of the night, Cynthia waited with a bated breath, her heart pounding with anticipation. Suddenly, a loud knock echoed through the stillness, and Cynthia paused, quickened as she opened the door to find Ozo standing before her. His eyes glazed with an unfamiliar intensity, and Ozo confessed his love for Cynthia, his words dripping with passion and desire. He pulled her close, his embrace suffocating her with its intensity as he professed his undying devotion. Cynthia's heart raced with triumph as she realized her plan had worked. But even as Ozo's declaration of love filled the air, a flicker of doubt danced in the depths of her mind. Meanwhile, in Ozo's bedroom, Amanda stirred restlessly in her sleep, her dreams troubled by visions of uncertainty. And when she woke up to see that also her husband was missing from their bed, panic gripped her heart as she searched everywhere for her husband. Unable to reach him by phone, Amanda's worry deepened. Her mind filled with fear and confusion. Desperate for answers, she turned to Cynthia, hoping for reassurance in her time of need. Together, they waited in the stillness of the morning, their hearts heavy with concern. And when Otto finally returned, his explanation seemed possible, his words laced with sincerity and concern for his friend in need. Otto lied to Amanda, telling her that a friend of his called him very early in the morning to come help him take his mother to the hospital. And while he was rushing out, he forgot to take his phone along with him. Amanda, blinded by love and trust, accepted his explanation without question, her heart filled with gratitude for his kindness and compassion. But as the sun rose high in the sky, casting its golden light upon the world below, shadows lingered in corners of Amanda's mind, whispers of doubt and uncertainty that threatened to unravel the fabric of her happiness. As days turned into weeks, Cynthia's hold over Ozo grew stronger. He spent less time at home, always claiming to be away on business trips. Amanda, trusting and unaware of the truth, believed his every word, never suspecting the betrayal that lurked between his charming facade. Meanwhile, Cynthia delved deeper into the dark arts, seeking to tighten her grip on Ozo's heart. Her desperation knew no bounds as she dabbled in black magic, weaving spells and incantations to bind Ozo to her side forever. With each passing day, Amanda's world crumbled around her. Ozo's absence became more frequent, his excuses more flimsy, and when he was home, his demeanor was cold and distant, a stark contrast to the warmth and love they once shared. But Amanda dared not question his whereabouts for fear of his wrath. Whenever she dared to speak up, Ozo's temper fled, his words sharp like daggers as he accused her of meddling in his affairs. Cynthia, emboldened by her newfound power, saw an opportunity to claim Ozo as her own. With a calculated move, she packed her belongings and announced to Ozo that she was pregnant with his child, a ploy to solidify her place in his life. With a heart filled with dread, Amanda watched as Cynthia moved into their home, her presence a constant reminder of the betrayal that had torn her world apart. She couldn't comprehend how her best friend could betray her in such a manner, or how her husband could turn his back on the love they once shared. That night, as Amanda confronted Ozo, her heart heavy with grief and confusion, he lashed out with anger and violence. His blows rained down upon her like a storm, leaving her battered and broken, her spirit crushed beneath the weight of his betrayal. With nowhere else to turn, Amanda sought solace in the arms of her mother-in-law, tears streaming down her face as she recounted the horrors she endured at the hands of her husband and former friend. Ozor's mother, heartbroken by her son's actions, could only offer words of comfort and support to her suffering daughter-in-law. But as they huddled together in grief and despair, Cynthia's voice echoed through the halls, her words dripping with malice and deceit. She demanded that Ozor send them away, claiming that their presence was disturbing her and her unborn child. In a cruel twist of fate, Ozor, swayed by Cynthia's dark influence, cast aside his own wife and mother. That night, Ozor sent his wife and his mother out of his house in the middle of the night. Amanda's heart shattered into million pieces as she realized the depth of the betrayals she had endured. With tears streaming down her face, Amanda turned to Cynthia, her voice trembling with the pain and sorrow. She cursed her former friend, wishing upon her the same suffering she had inflicted upon her. For in that moment of darkness and despair, Amanda found strength in her own resilience, vowing to rise from the ashes of betrayal and reclaim the happiness that had been stolen from her. Cynthia boiled with anger as the curses Amanda had uttered echoed in her mind. She was determined to retaliate, to bring Amanda to her knees, and to make her pay for the suffering she had endured. With malice burning in her heart, Cynthia sought refuge in the dark depths of the black magic shrine, desperate to unleash a madness spell upon her unsuspecting victim. Little did Cynthia know, Amanda was not alone in her struggles. Ozor's mother, Amanda's mother, and Amanda herself had sought the guidance of a powerful man of God, a beacon of light in their darkest hour. Together, they embarked on a journey of faith, venturing into 7 days of fasting and prayer to break the chains of darkness that held Ozor and his family captive. As Cynthia delved deeper into the shadows, her incantations grew stronger, fueled by her burning desire for revenge. She unleashed every ounce of power at her disposal, weaving a web of madness intended to consume Amanda's very soul. But Amanda, a child of destiny, stood firm against the darkness that threatened to engulf her. Despite Cynthia's relentless attacks, Amanda remained steadfast in her faith, shielded by the prayers of those who loved her. Time and again, Cynthia plotted and schemed, her heart consumed by hatred and jealousy. She concocted elaborate schemes to bring Amanda down, to strip her of her happiness and leave her broken and defeated. But each attempt was thwarted, each scheme unraveled by the unseen hand of fate. Cynthia tried all she could, but could not penetrate the shield that surrounded Amanda, a shield forged from the purest of love and faith. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Cynthia's resolve began to waver. The darkness that had once consumed her now gnawed at her very soul, leaving her hollow and empty inside. Weeks later, Ozor fell seriously ill, and Cynthia, instead of staying and taking care of her husband she claimed Ozor to be, she ran away to her boyfriend's house out of fear, abandoning Ozor in his time of need. But fate had other plans in store. Ozor's mother, ever vigilant in her love for the son, rushed to his side, her heart heavy with concern. Together, they called for Amanda and her mother to come to their aid, setting aside past grievances in the face of a greater threat. Amanda, her heart softened by the trials they had endured, forgave her husband, embracing him in a tender embrace of understanding and love. In that moment of reconciliation, the wounds of the past began to heal, replaced by a newfound sense of unity and strength. With grateful hearts, they thanked God Almighty for sparing their lives and bringing them back together once more. Their home, once shrouded in darkness, now echoed with the laughter of loved ones united. But while happiness blossomed in the hearts of Ozo and his family, Cynthia's world crumbled around her. She, who had sought to tear others down with envy and deceit, found herself alone and abandoned, her illusions of power shattered by the cruel hand of fate. Desperate and alone, Cynthia clung to the remnants of her former life, seeking solace in the arms of her so-called boyfriend. But even he, wary of her manipulation and deceit, turned his back on her, leaving her with nothing but the echoes of her own regret. One fateful day, as Cynthia returned home to her empty apartment, she found herself confronted with the harsh reality of her existence. Her boyfriend, taking everything she owned, including her property and documents, had left her with nothing but the bitter taste of defeat. In a moment of despair, Cynthia's heart seized within her chest, her breath stolen by the weight of her own actions, and she stumbled out into the world, searching for answers that would never come. Fate dealt its final blow. With a cry of anguish, Cynthia collapsed to the ground, her life slipping away with each passing moment. And in that fleeting instant, she realized the true cost of her envy and greed, a price paid in loneliness and sorrow. And so, dear friends, the tale of Amanda, Ozo and Cynthia comes to a close, a story of love and forgiveness, of redemption and remorse. For in the end, it is not the wealth of power we possess that defines us, but the love we share and the kindness we show to others. And as the sun sets on their journey, may their hearts be filled with peace and gratitude, knowing that in the end, love conquers all. Lesson. The main lesson in this story is that being kind, forgiving, and truthful brings happiness and peace, while jealousy, lies, and greed only lead to sadness and troubles, showing that it's important to treat others with love and honesty, and to always choose the path of goodness and friendship over envy and deceit. Thank you so much for watching. Please kindly share, comment, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting videos.